Hi, Filters here, and that's right, this week is AMC's Humans, Episode 4. There's a lot to this show, and there are going to be some questions I want to raise, and maybe some of you guys out there might know, or maybe you'll talk amongst yourselves about it. Okay, the thing starts out that Maddie Hawkins is trying to figure out Anita slash Mia, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. She's a bit of a hacker. And what's interesting about this is that now Maddie has now found purpose. When we're first introduced to her, she's lacking any type of purpose whatsoever. But hey. Next, um, we have Hobbs. And the character of Hobbs in this episode, and you're still trying to figure it out, he winds up not calling the synths it. He'll refer to them in the pronoun of he or she. I don't know. He sort of grants a sort of, I guess, respect to them. But he knows more than what everybody else knows. The bottom line is, I'm pretty much seeing this as it's airing. So, if you guys know more, then that's fine. Uh, then one of the things that also happens is that Maddie and Toby Hawkins go to a party. And Toby, for some weird, infallible reason, turns down the advances of a human woman. He's and he says his heart belongs to somebody else. My guess is he's thinking about Anita. This is a very, very, very weird dynamic as far as we're going. And also at the party, something kind of fucked up happens. I guess it's this notion that lad culture exists where one of the guys tries to open the shirt of one of the cute female synths that are there and then deactivates it and then tries to take it upstairs. Maddie slugs him across the face. Slaps him across the face. Sorry, not slug. Yeah, still, the idea of somebody just hitting you. And I don't know. It just kind of. And at this point, also, Maddie is amorphized, the synth. Even though this serving girl robot is doing her thing, she's amorphized it as a person and refers to it as would you take a woman up there unconscious and stuff like that. I guess they're trying to say rape culture and that shit. But or lad culture, depending on your point of view. Um Joe, Joe Hawkins, he's really frustrated at this point. Laura has just been neglecting him for for a while now. It's painfully apparent in the series he's being neglected by Laura. He wants to spend time with her. That's why they got the synth Anita to help take care of things so she doesn't have to. And he winds up crossing the line. And when he crosses the line, there's a look on his face, first of complete what's the word I'm looking for? Well, you can tell he's afraid to do this. He's nervous. For intents and purposes, he's messing around with another woman. I mean, in his mind, but then you could tell he's trying to justify it in a weird way. It's like she's not real. She's construct. She doesn't. She's not real, and you could tell he feels a sense of shame and major guilt for what he does. I mean, it's just there. I mean, kudos to the actor for portraying it. It is just beautiful. Jill Drummond, the wife of Pete Drummond, decides, well, she doesn't want Pete in the house anymore. The funny thing about this entire show is how everybody bonds with their synths, but nobody's bonding with each other. I don't know. I've almost got Ray Bradbury's The Murderer running through my head whenever I think of this. They're bonding with their little wrist phones, but they're not bonding with each other. They're not talking to each other. They'd rather talk to their devices and the like. Leo Elster, as he's now revealed, is the son of David Elster, the creator of most of the synths, or all the synths, along with Dr. Millikan. Dr. Millikan reveals to Leo something along the lines of David was going in realms he didn't want to be a part of. And then, to make matters even more interesting, we find out Anita isn't fresh off the factory line like a couple of years. She's like 14 years old. Yeah, it is kind of freaky. Oh, wow. Um, Eventually, Leo makes his way to find Maddie Hawkins. They they're trying to figure out where Anita is or Mia is. Maddie's giving them the runaround. She's a very slick girl in tech, so hey, what are you gonna do about that? Um, let's see. Mrs. Kennedy and her synth Howard. That's a very interesting. That's a very interesting dynamic as she tries to explain, and at the same time, she's explaining how she feels about her synth. We see Joe with a voiceover from Mrs. Kennedy unwrapping the 18 and over adult girlfriend experience. I guess that's the best way to call it. Oh boy. Also, getting back to Pete Drummond, I, I kept thinking that he was going to try and put the moves on Karen Voss, his partner, and you would think that was the case. You honestly think that was the case. He's going to try to put the moves on her because it's like, hey, my wife just threw me out because she seems to be more concerned about their synth than their marriage. It seems to be an underlying theme in this show. These people are more concerned with all these other things, and they're not prioritizing their family and their relationships as as much as I guess they should. You know, Laura doesn't prioritize her marriage, and she just basically goes out. And at this point, again, Joe is thinking, "Oh my God, is she fooling around?" And then he basically gives in to temptation, and he has sex with Anita. And again, this raises a lot of questions, but I'll get to that a little later. Ah, oh, boy, finally we have uh, Niska. Actually, not finally, but we have Niska, and Niska discovers a "We Are People" kind of. I guess it's the equivalent of a America First or Britain First kind of thing, you know, where you have this disaffected group of people whose jobs have been taken away by automation. Just and I can actually see how this could be a problem. I mean, think about it. Imagine you are a waitress or a waiter, and you like being a waiter and a waitress. You know, you get to meet people, you get to talk to people, you get to, you get to, you bond with people. I don't know if you've ever been in a diner, one of those hometown diners, like Cheers. Everybody knows each other, and you'll sit there maybe on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and you're having coffee, and you're listening to these other guys here talk about the game last night, or the other group is talking about the news, and then or they're just bullshitting about stuff, and the chef will, or the waiter will have something to say, and maybe the chef cook has something to say, and you enjoy the experience. Some people don't like to be put in a cubicle. That's the nature of the beast. That's humanity for you. But anyway, she goes to this fight club type thing where they get to take baseball bats, sledgehammers, and whatever to attack synths, to let out their frustration, to just, I guess it's their moment of hate. I guess you could call it that, where they just get to bash these things. Niska goes in, and boy, she shows she's not. I don't know. Just when you think that she's beginning to understand humanity and that they come in different, eh, now she's getting the funny feeling that no, all humans are kind of fucked up. That's how come in my last video I described it as her going all Skynet on somebody, and to the point where even after she drives everybody out. I mean, we're talking Jesus in the temple style, okay? If you remember the old biblical story, Jesus got pissed off at the Pharisees and all these other guys, the money changers and all these other guys, and said, "Get the hell out!" And he took a switch, a belt, and whatever, and he just went first century on them. And again, this is what I see with Niska. She goes crazy, and then she tries to free the remaining undamaged ones in a pin, and they don't know what to do. She does, though. Yiska winds up picking up a nail gun and literally goes to like six of them, five, six of the synths that were already damaged, and just put nails inside their head to just deactivate them. Basically, mercy killing. As far as she's concerned, they are her brothers and sisters. Uh, I mean, it's weird. Perhaps the most interesting thing is Drummond, as he's now crashing on Karen Voss's couch, and as they sit and they talk, and thanks to Pete Drummond basically going to the reporter that he assaulted, he now has given him the story that's going to make this reporter's career. And the reporter drops the charges against Pete Drummond, so now he's back on the force. Hmm. Again, you need to watch the episode. You'll probably catch a few things that maybe I missed, or maybe you'll see something, maybe something that was overrated or underrated. I don't know. But again, when we get to Pete Drummond and Karen Voss, at first you think, after a night of drinking, he might have tried to pull the moves on her, because after all, his wife just tossed him out without so much as a how do you do. Finally, she goes into a room and she locks her door. I mean, when you first see that scene, you're thinking, is she like afraid that he's drunk and he's going to come in the door? No, 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 no. It's all about privacy. And the big reveal is, as she reaches into her mouth and pulls out what looks like a artificial stomach, and she pulls it out with all the wine and food that she's eaten, and carefully puts it in the trash as she sits there. Basically, now we know that she is a much more advanced AI, much better than the um, Leo Elster, if he's human at all. I don't know what the hell he is. There's too many conflicting things about him, and most of the others. She is more advanced. She's mastered human emotions like there's no tomorrow. You know, and that's the really cool thing. She's mastered them to the point where nobody even knows that she is a synth herself. Now, the real question is, and when it comes to this story, the show, would it actually be adultery if you were banging an appliance? Technically, that's what synths are. They're nothing more than appliances designed to look human. I mean, would you go for? I don't know. Would you consider it adultery? Would you consider it adultery? I mean, technically, for all intents and purposes, they may as well be masturbating. Seriously, if you're going to be screwing this thing, you may as well be masturbating. And in the case of Jill Drummond, if she's getting some deep from Simon, then hey, she may as well just have a vibrator. I mean, what are we supposed to feel? What are we supposed to think about that? I mean, these are questions. I really would like somebody to bring some stuff up about this. I'm sorry if my video has been a little discombobulated. I'm kind of losing life here, and I got a lot of work to do. We were doing a lot of moving in our home, so nonetheless, I hope you guys have some interesting things to say. Rate this video if you like it. If you have a comment, please leave it. And y'all have a good one. Oh wait, one last thing. I've made a couple of videos about this technology, about holodecks and MGTOW, and I'm kind of wondering, would synth technology also be considered? I mean, would it actually be kind of cool to have? I mean, I'm asking some of you guys who are MGTOWs out there, what do you think? I mean, would you go for a synth that looked like, I don't know, Taylor Swift, or maybe that girl that you went to high school with, or maybe Betty Page. Could you imagine you have one that looks like Betty Page walking around your house, and all of those revealing outfits that she used to wear? Again, I'm asking the question, and I would really like people to give me a decent answer. Well, like I said, I'm out of here. This is Filter. Y'all have a good one. See ya.